Ed Anime Productions presents Meltrek, Episode 1, Exploring Ancient Africa.
We're going to a different time zone, where our ancestors always sat on the throne. We're going to a different time zone. We're going to a different time. We're going to a different time zone. We're going to a different time. We're going to a different time zone, where our ancestors always sat on the throne, yeah. And I'm talking about you and me. Our pigmentation considered greatest in royalty. So rise up, sons and daughters of a KB land. It's time to claim our riches and take back our land. So come and take this journey, and when you come back, tell your friends and family all about the mail track. Mail track, mail track, mail track, mail track, mail track. It's time to take it back to the base. And talk about the mail track.
The great lakes reading, the original garden of Eden, where the oldest bones of man was found. Just look around, paradise to the flesh, nothing less than the best. Meditation on this earth, priceless is what it's worth us. Why we building cities and homes, statues out of stone? Bet you thought that all the great structures were...
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Mentoring Clinic. The mission is the promoting of life coaching with aims and goals to make role models and better examples with strong moral values, while speaking to the inner child first. The inner child is our childlike aspect. It includes all that we learn and experience as children before puberty. The inner child denotes a semi-independent entity, subordinate to our waking conscious mind, as quoted in popular psychology and analytical psychology. This is where the brainwashing takes place and took place in us as a people. A clinic is a facility for diagnosis and treatment of our patients. The diagnosis for our states of affairs and crippling conditions has been defined. The cure and antidote is that I believe should be the lifestyle taught by the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I also would like to thank my guest today, because I got a full house today, and I think we have a very exciting broadcast for our listeners today. Not that we don't always have it, but we kind of got a special one today, and I want to welcome you to it, and I want to invite you to have your input in on it, and I hope that, you enjoy all that you hear. I'm going to personally back out, and I'm going to have my host, Brother Reggie, to narrate and host the broadcast from this point on. And the phone number that I'd like you to participate in on is 410-481-1010. Again, 481-1010. And at this point, I'm going to let Brother Reggie take my seat, and he's going to introduce or have introduced, the panel and the guests for today.
Peace. How y'all doing? This is Brother Reggie. I'm here with my comrades today with the Amun Ra squad. We got Dr. Maat here. We got Necha Neb here. First of all, I just want to go around the room and introduce everybody else first. Brother Rahim.
Peace and love to the community, and a blessing to you all. Hopefully everybody's well and in good spirit. I hope the vibes are high in this new calendar year. I neglect to say a Happy New Year's because it can't be a New Year's with the earth as cold and hard as it is, and no growth and no life in the earth. I don't want to get it twisted and say Happy New Year's, because New Year's is when the trees begin to bud, when the green grass will grow, when there's life. But it's just a dead time now, so anyway, happy first of the calendar year. I'll put it like that. So today we have the IC4 where we're going into our journey into our ancient divine forefathers here with the group that's gathered here today. And I just want to sit back and enjoy the wisdom coming from the mouths of babes.
Yes, this is Brother Malachi. How y'all doing this morning? And I hope everybody have a blessed one and having a blessed day today.
Dr. Maat.
Peace, family. This is Netchanab. Akuz Tepi. Just here enjoying the radio show. Just sending my blessings out, and hope all the black people out there and all the people listening a wonderful day today.
Peace and Black Power family. This is Dr. Maat. Arm and Raw Squad Up. Black African Power. I'm looking forward to the talk today.
Peace, love, and respect. This is Brother Neville. Black love and hope everybody have a great day today.
All right, so let's get into the conversation. So let's see how can we redefine being a Black African American in 2016 for our youth? Guys, got any anything to add to that question, or any answer to that question? Should I say, solution wise? Well, check it.
Okay, you said, so your question, brother, is how can you redefine being an African American in 2016?
For our youth.
Well, for our youth, I think that the first step is to acquire knowledge of self. That's the first step. What does it really mean to be an African American? To me, to be honest with you, brother, I believe that African American is a misnomer.
Exactly.
It's a misnomer. We've been calling ourselves African Americans since the 1980s because of Jesse Jackson. But who are we really? We're really children of the African diaspora. That's who we really are. And I believe that in 2016, what we need to do is get back to self and identifying with self. And what does that mean, to identify with self? To identify with self is to understand your ancestry, to understand who you are and where you come from. Because as children of the African diaspora, we were disconnected from Africa when they came over and kidnapped us. Okay? Because like Brother Uncle Ket always say, we were kidnapped victims. Exactly. When they came over to kidnap us, they took from us our birthright, our language, our religion, our land. So I think as African Americans, now we need to get back to knowing self and falling in love with self again. And that's reconnecting with the motherland, Africa. And I mean, I'm not even talking about a physical connection at this point. I'm speaking of a mental connection at this point. So in 2016, redefining ourselves as African American, I don't even want to use the term African Americans. Now, granted, that term definitely distinguishes us from the Africans on the continent, right?
Right.
But we are all African at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think we need to get back to learning about self and loving self in 2016.
Exactly. What I would say to that is like, I think we need to get back to just having a sense of culture, just to add on to what you said, or kind of maybe, add a different perspective. Our culture is what we lack. We lack that indigenous type of feel that we gave the world, really. And it's been so mixed with and tainted with at this point that we have lost the true sense of who we are. You know what I mean? So we kind of running around like chickens with their head cut off. You know what I mean? We don't know where to go. We kind of want to mix and mingle with everybody. We don't know what facts are really true about our people. We don't know the terms that we're using. We don't understand a lot of different things. So I think that we need to get back to teaching our people these things and somehow, some way, create a way to make these things more popular in our community. Maybe show them a more positive expression of so-called black people in our community.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I think what everybody here at this table is bringing to the table is a positive expression of whatever type of culture we're trying to bring back, should I say, or create, you know? So, yeah.
I just want to add to that, but that is the mission of the Amun-Ra Squad. Brother Uncle Ket and Brother Ishmael Bey, they started the Amun-Ra Squad for that, to reestablish authentic African culture. Because like you said, for years and centuries, we have been bombarded with misconceptions of our culture. And so that is the sole mission of the Amun-Ra Squad, to bring back the authentic African culture to our people. So I just wanted to add that.
Indeed.
Most definitely. We definitely need to get back to the point of, for one, we need to know who we are, you know, and a lot of times a lot of guys don't study, female and male don't study. And I think that's key because, like Sister said, we have more or less a mental pilgrimage to go back to where we came from. People don't even understand anything about Africa, don't know nothing about Africa, don't want nothing to do with Africa. And you are African. That's where your ancestral come from. You're African. You're a strong African black woman and man. And I think we need to, for one, that'll build up confidence within yourself when you do recognize where you come from and believe and know where you come from, because that instills in you strength and honor, loyalty, respect. And we need to get back to that, because right now, as you can see in the inner cities and around the world, you know, we don't love one another no more. We don't speak to one another. You walk past your common brother, don't even speak, don't say hi, don't want to look in his eyes or her eyes. And I think we need to get back to that.
Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, this Nutchinab, I agree with everything been said, and it's pretty much solutions that we can do. And, you know, it's African groups, brothers out here putting in the work. That we are redefining ourselves as a people. You know, we are searching into historical documentation. We are studying our African languages. We are studying the Egyptian languages. Brothers putting in work in the community, being taught by African elders. So we most definitely a positive output of our African black youth and what we are doing. Now, it was another thing I just want to put out there, redefining ourselves. And I hear a lot of people say, know thyself. To really know thyself, you have to really know yourself literally, right. Like meaning that take genetic tests. You know, see what tribe you come from.
That's right.
See where you come from.
That's right.
Exactly.
I mean, we talk about being African, but, you know, we have to know our genetics. We have to know where we come from directly. We can't be claiming nobody else's stuff when you from West Africa, but you claiming something else. So, you know, it's tests out here that we can do. It's easy. It ain't nothing hard. You know, we can take that $100 and go to like 3 different genetic tests so we can, for more accuracy, you feel me, and find out what tribe we come from. A few people in the Amun-Ra Squad actually did it, and some of them have sub-Saharan DNA. Some of them have Saharan DNA. You feel me? So we got to get into ourselves, like the sister said, more deeply and scientifically. And, you know, that's the issue I bring, scientifically redefining ourselves and really putting in the work to do it. You feel me? So it speaks more than words. So, yeah, that's another important thing.
And there are places that you can go to test your genes or to trace your genes. You can. I actually traced my DNA through Africa. I traced my ancestry through African ancestry. Rick Kittles in Washington D.C. A couple of people on the squad that used 23andMe, I believe, to trace their ancestry. And so what the brother just said is very important, that you need to understand exactly who you are. Chase your DNA. Find out your DNA. Take the test.
Right.
Let me get Brother Unk in right quick. Peace, Brother Unk.
Black African Power. I'm a Raw Squad Up. Dr. Oya and Brother Netanab. And how y'all doing today?
Good. How you doing, bro?
Doing good. I'm a Raw Squad Up.
Hey, Raw Squad Up. Black African Power.
Black African Power.
Indeed, brother.
Yeah, I just like to say, man, I'm proud of Dr. Oya and Netanab. We've all been from Baltimore. And I'm just proud that now that this information can actually reach the streets of Baltimore. Brother Netanyahu, man, he in them streets. Dr. Oya, she in them schools, she in them streets. And this is going to be the information that's going to turn the tide. This I promise you. Because knowing who you are and what you stand for and looking through the world through the lenses of your ancestors is the most important thing we can do as a people. Far too long in North America, we have looked through the lenses of racism, white supremacy,
That's right.
Christian, Islamic, Jewish faith. And so the Qurans and Bibles, they're nothing but ancestral worship books that cause you to worship outside of yourself. And that's a hard pill to swallow. So at the end of the day, we do not apply spiritual terms, God terms, Christian terms to African ideas and concepts. We're now ready and we're prepared to stand on our own and live as a people, viewing the world through the eyes of our ancestors and making the world for our generations. And this is important. So far, things have not worked. We can look at the way we get shot down in the streets. We can look at the way the turnover in the prison systems. We can look at the educational level of our people. We can look at how we glorify living in the hood, which is a bunch of crap. And so at the end of the day, right, we're responsible for turning a hood into a community. A hood is a hood based off of the fact that all the money-making mechanisms are controlled by outside forces.
Exactly.
So at the end of the day, we are responsible for changing our conditions. No outside force is responsible for that. And so I'm just proud, man, to even be on this radio show, streaming to Baltimore. Man, that's my spot. I love it. You know, Hilltop. And at the end of the day, man, I'm proud. Those two young brothers and sisters has raised the level of the Amara Squad, and now it really means something because they're in them streets. So I just like to say I appreciate y'all letting me in.
Black African power, brother. All right, we're gonna get in Sister Raheem. You've been on hold for a while. Peace, sister.
Peace.
Peace and blessings to everyone.
Peace.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. I hope everyone will have a blessed and successful time, especially the young people who are trying to get into our ancestry. I pray that we will all be able to work together and like Dr. Oyad presented the truth about the religions that were all given to us, even though he said they came from Africa, but they've just been dyed and tilted and everything done to them, so that we can't really know what the truth is, because it's been so manipulated by forces other than ourselves. So I'm very glad to hear you all today. I just wanted Dr. Matt to give the complete location as to where folk can find out about their ancestry. Is that Ancestry.com or?
Yes, ma'am. Ancestry.com or 23andme.com.
All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
No problem, sis.
Continue on. I'm glad to hear you. You sound like the Joshua generation is getting ready to do something. Just make sure that you pull all of our people along with you so that we can make it happen. Peace.
Peace, sister.
Thanks.
Peace.
Dominique, peace. Hello?
Peace. Yeah, I had you on mute.
Oh, it's all good, brother. What's good?
Nothing much. I was just calling in just to see what the science was with this whole radio station. I'm on my way to work, and I just wanted to hear what y'all was building on.
Okay, brother. Yeah, you don't have to call in, brother, to listen. If you want, you can download the app 1010 AM WOLB.
Word.
All right, brother. Peace. Man.
All right, brother. Peace.
Peace.
All right, I got a question. So, everybody's saying, you know, we need to get back to our African culture, our African roots. And when we say that, I understand what y'all are saying, but a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just looking through eyes of you know, their own reality. They're looking at Africa from the perspective of how they seeing it now. You know what I mean? And how Africans may treat us now. Could you guys probably help them understand why, you know, it is the way that it is, you know, colonization, being Hellenized, or whatever you want to go into. But could you explain to the people what we mean by getting back to our African culture?
Would you like to elaborate on that, brother?
Yeah, good question. getting back to our African culture, for example, I'm a leader of, a founder of an organization called the Per Nature Research Center of African History and Ancient Studies. We specialize in full curriculums. And Sister Maat, Dr. Maat, who's, on my left here, she has animations, coloring books, getting into redefining yourself by putting in work. Parenting, the parents most definitely is the most important key in the African community in getting our children and raising them back to the African self. So, I just say that you got to put in the work like we have done. Nothing gonna come to you by praying and spookism and stuff like that. It hasn't been here. Nothing happened yet. The only thing that's happening now is like Brother Reggie putting the work in the community, me putting the work with the Egyptian translations and starting organizations up for our people. Dr. Ma'a putting the work. It takes hard work and dedication. Nothing just going to pop up out the sky into our hands. We recognize the problem. We see the problem psychologically. Now we got to physically put in the work that we see. I believe in hard work. I don't believe in nothing, spookism or nothing like that. You don't put in hard work, you don't get no results, period. So, brothers and sisters out here that's putting in that work, you seek these people out. Like me, for example, I'll give you an example. I was in the streets and I did a lot of bad things. And, I started studying my history. It started from studying my history, to being interested in languages. From being interested in languages, I sought out my energy to myself and sought out Dr. Raketti. I sought out Siba Hiro Kanu. I sought out Dr. Tadika Kilimanjaro, elders in the field who actually got things going. So, a lot of people out there, especially our people, they don't think that, especially looking from an American lens, that nothing is happening. They don't see nothing going down. But there's plenty of people that's putting in the work. There's plenty of people putting in the work since the 1980s, 1970s. I had a 1986 ASCAT conference for my teacher, Dr. Raketti Amen. Dr. Ben was there. Dr. Reggie was there. And, we've been putting in work for years. We just got to seek it out. Like the brother said, and the sister said, it starts from knowledge of self. And what I mean by knowledge of self, that's a loose phrase. I mean, when you say knowledge of self, I mean put in that work. And if you don't put in work, nothing gonna happen, period.
That's right, brother. And it's a mental, spiritual, and physical thing. It's not just about reading books. It's also about what you're putting in your body. We have to learn about how the proper things to put in our system to keep us going, function as strong soldiers out here for the youth. And a lot of times brothers don't, we don't know what to eat out here. We eating everything. People calling certain things food that's really not food. That's not considered food. Are you going to the grocery store and eating your fruits and vegetables, the things with color in it? You know what I mean? That's what we are. We're people of color, so we need things of color to go inside our bodies. To feed our brains, to get us going, to keep us strong, and be mentally and physically and spiritually connected to the gods of the earth. And that's what we need out here, bro.
I have a question to ask. Brother came on and he said that we have to discard the books that I myself personally have read, and I'm an avid reader of Quran. I'm an avid reader of the Torah. I'm an avid reader of the Holy Bible. Now, is there a book that I could reference about my ancient and divine forefathers other than just a page with 35 or 36, the Mayat? Is it a book that I could pick up and read and study this? Or is this embedded in our mentality? This is a natural read? I mean, is it a book?
Good question.
Has the book been revealed? Where do I get the book?
Okay, just another NAB, Per Nature Research Center, Emerald Squad. I just want to say, very good question, Elder. And I got to respect that. You coming from a religious mind and you think that, we supposed to have a book coming out of the sky or some magical book. No. I'm going to tell you something about I'm going to tell you something about the black man, right? We are over 100 and something thousand years old as a people. We were existing before Islam was created.
That's right.
Before Arabic was created, Africans was existing. Before science was created, African was existing. Before any holy book, before even the ideology of the word God even came into being in the Proto-Indo-European language family, Africans was existing.
That's right.
So we have to go back to which we come from, which we are the oldest people generating and walking on this earth as sentient beings, and we have to get into our own religious spiritual system. And let me tell you something enough about the black man that I'm a second level Egyptian translator from the Institute of Kemetic Theology, and we study, we are far beyond books. You know, a lot of our ancient history and ancient historical records is actually inscribed on walls that actually existed thousands of years before a book even existed. So we have to go back to which is our own. And another thing is that to make a book out of the over 3,000 years historical records of Egyptian ideology and stuff like that, it'd be millions of books. You feel what I'm saying? So we as black people, it's many books that we can study. Our ancient scholars have written. Also, maat is just not a book. It's laws and functions of a society and community that we existed on. It's not just a book. We dealt with mummifications, funeral homes. Another thing I like to mention is that's very important, how we bury our dead. You feel me? A person could be studying African spirituality one day and then get buried in the church. That's confusing.
Exactly.
So we have to get back our own historical rights back, which is our own funerary. How we going to know how to build with African funerary practices? How can we take our mummifications and modernize it to this day? And the only way we can do that is to study our historical records that been existing over thousands of years before Islam, before Judaism, before the Torah, before all of them was created, period. And we do have records that date back over 3,000 to 4,000, 5,000 years. And I can read the Egyptian language myself. So,
well, I wanted to ask you a question, being as though you translate the language. By translating the language, you can kind of see a different window into the culture that other people probably couldn't see. A lot of people just see the surface. You know what I mean? They're just looking at the pictures and literally thinking they're pictures, but the pictures represent different words and you know what I mean, different things in language. So how do you look at the culture behind the culture that we came from?
It's many different facets of our culture, bro. Is you have oral traditions. You feel me? We have the oldest written record systems that exist in Africa. You actually have language being written. You have funerary practices. You have how to build waterways, how to construct temples, communities, and boggies, and things of that nature. But I look at, when I translate, everybody that translate don't really look at translations in an African conception. Even though Africans, we are the ones who birthed the Nile Valley up from the Sudan area. The Sudan is actually older than 70,000 years old, actually. So Kemet, Egypt, is actually older than what European scholars actually make it the same. True. I dated back to over 10,000, probably 25,000 years. And the reason why, because of the Sudanic area. From the Sudan area, you see pottery shards that came from the Sudan area up the Nile Valley. And this happened 7,000 something years ago. So we know that the Egyptian, not the Egyptian, the Kemetic community, the Kemetic inscriptions, the Kemetic community building is based off a Central African element. A lot of people that translate, some people don't know. A lot of Europeans that translate, they got a lot of words right. I didn't say they didn't get words right. They got a lot of words right, but purely looking at it like the word nature, they put God as being a definition for the word nature. They looking at it from a European religious Christian ideology and say, oh, this must be that God for the word nature. So we're going to translate it as God, which is not so. That's not even a definition. It's far from the definition. Now, the only reason why I look at the inscriptions from an African perspective is only one reason, because I was trained to look at it like that. A lot of my Sebas, they are very well grounded and students of Dr. Ben, students of Dr. Sheikh Anta Diop. and they looked at it from a pure African perspective. For example, you look at Egyptian inscriptions, you see a lot of the pharaohs wearing a tail. A lot of people say, oh, what the hell they got a tail? The pharaoh got a tail on his back, and what did that mean? Now, you look into the Sudanic area and do comparative studies, you see that the tail represents something dealing with high-ranking and African community living. It's still oral traditions that dates back in the Sudanic area, in the big Dinka area, and different tribal areas and stuff like that, where they still to this day wears a tail. And it was come from the woman, actually. One of the Sudanic tribes had females used to give the male warriors their tail when they go out hunting. And you see on a lot of inscriptions of dating back probably over 4,000, 5,000 years. You got the Nama palette, which dates back over 3,000 years of an African wearing the tail. He was a pharaoh, he was powerful, and stuff like that. But today you'll see the tail in Super Mario and think it's some fantasy thing, and he wailing his tail in Super Mario Brothers 3. But it's not really like that. The tail represented some type of high rank in African traditional culture. So when I look at African translations, I look at the Egyptian, the way they did things and stuff like that. We know that in the Nile Valley system, there was different various African groups that centered along that Nile Valley River right there. It wasn't just one type of African. It was different types of Africans. You had the Libyan types of Africans. You had the Ethiopic type of Africans. You had the Africans that was in the Sahara. You had the Sub-Saharan Africans. All of those Africans was very diverse in the Nile Valley river system. And also you had different type of dialects of the Meta Nature. No one spoke one Meta Nature. You know, it was different types of African languages that when we see on the walls, and we can do a live comparison with the Egyptian hieroglyphs with the African languages. So it's more fitting when we look at Egyptian in a pretty African conception. We understand what's going on once you have that African concept. You can't apply European conceptions or religious ideology to our history. You can't do it because we were before religion even started.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, no, I follow what you're saying to a large degree. As a student of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were taught that the black man, the so-called black man, the Asiatic black man, the aboriginal man of the earth, is that we came with the sun. Not 10,000 years ago, 76 trillion years ago. So I follow you. I'm not here to dispute. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
My logic.
Actually, I have to agree with the elder right there. Actually, I would have to agree from a little bit because the sun and the black man is the same.
That's
we ain't
right.
no different. We just different type of beings.
That's right.
That's it. I ain't trying to add no spookism, but I'm just saying that we all part of the universe. The universe is a part of one. Some of the things Elijah Muhammad I agree on, but the religious, we got to get that out of. Aiming Raw Squad gets that up out of here.
That's right.
The only reason why we got to get it up out of here because Allah didn't exist when we were existing. That's the only thing. The Asiatic black man wasn't in existence when the African people were existing. So it's nothing wrong with being an Asiatic black man. There's black men in Asia, but I'm not an Asiatic black man. The Aiming Raw Squad, we are not Asiatic black men.
That's
we
right.
existed thousands of years before Asia was even existing. So I got to go back to the forefathers, my ancient ancestors, and just stay there.
Well, clear something up for me. In the beginning, in my geography classes many, many years ago, I was told that the Earth was one mass and the entire planet was called Asia before the Great Flood came, and then it was a separation of the masses of the land. So I'm a little confused. I'm going to have to teach myself on that, little brother.
Most definitely. Peace.
Yeah. The whole problem with that is like you don't find any artifacts
correct
that are older than coming out of the South Africa going up through the Nile. Like that's what modern science is dating everything off of, the mere fact that they found artifacts correct. Dating over 300,000 years ago. Correct. You know what I mean? The different Homo sapiens, and then coming down 295,000 years ago to modern day Homo sapiens. Like the track record is in Africa.
Correct.
Even if the land masses were put together, which we don't know 100%.
Correct.
That is just a theory.
Yeah.
So if that was true, they haven't found any fossils that prove that theory to be fact, that man was everywhere at the same time. Like it birthed in Africa for sure.
I understand that, brother. I didn't mean it like that. No, you got it twisted. What I was saying was that the anthropologists never found no remains of bones structures of other than the original man.
Right.
The aboriginal man. We're more than just an original man. We're the first man. The black man. The first.
Right. Yeah.
First.
Yeah.
So, where they have fossils and bones, the anthropologists have found to be many, many, many thousands of years old, which is us. You, me, us. This is the truth. I'm not here to dispute. I'm learning. I'm throwing it out there. Just bring it on now. That's what I'm saying. Just bring it. I ain't gonna sit here.
Let me get to the callers.
Yeah, let's talk. Let's rumble.
Lady Maggie.
Come on.
Lady Maggie, peace.
Yes, thank you. Peace and blessings to all of you. This is
peace and blessings, sis.
Thank you. This is an exciting exchange, and the reason is I had made my notes for a comment, and then when you said something about us being here trillions of years ago, and then you mentioned the sun, and then the elder there is so open to learning, and that is just so wonderful because I find that is what our challenge is. We must understand that we come from the middle of, let's say, information. So if either of us think we have our puzzle pieces laid on the table, we must understand that there are pieces still not found. So nobody has everything, and each one exchanging, like the elder who has been taught. And I was thinking about the PR for the Muslims that they never talk about, and that's the fact the Taj Mahal was built to honor the sacrifice of womankind. And the one who built that, the husband who had that build, not for a wife, but for the woman who sacrificed her life so that his child could come into this world. So it seems to me that that's where we have to go back to, because in the middle is male dominance.
That's right, sis.
No matter what religion we've been taught, it starts with male dominance. So whether you are Islam, Christian, whatever you are,
I concur.
You come under the male dominance that excluded the woman.
That's right, sis. Come on. Come on, sis.
You have that H, that W missing, and the H, the dominance. Holy. I mean, where in nature do you find a Holy? You go to Whole Foods to get good food, don't you? You go to nature to get good food, the best. And that's what the earth is. The earth is paradise. Somebody wants to go to paradise, you're already here.
You're already here.
Cement blocks the food from us like it blocks it from the mother bird who's looking for the worm.
Exactly.
Yes.
Come on, sis.
So,
And
peace to all of you. I really, really am enjoying it, and the elder has presented the space for you all to come on. I call myself Lady Maggie because I'm not missing anything.
I like how you think.
I have my womb, okay?
That's right, sis.
Like my complement has what I need, so we can both intercourse.
And see, sis, I love the perspective that you brought to the show. These religions are all based on patriarchy, sis. And you're right, they do exclude the woman. But that's not African, sis. And during the show, we were talking about going back to an African mindset. And see, in Africa, the black woman was revered, sis. We were venerated in Africa. So that's a whole European mindset to exclude the woman. So I'm agreeing with you, sis, in that a lot of these religions...
Let me share this with you. I am an elder, you might say, with the brother who presented you all this format, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I come to learn this year, and I need to say it this way because I don't know any other way to say it, and then again I can say it took me out to the cosmics, it took me out way past the earth. I could say it like that, but I want to say it blew my mind to find out that Scipio Africanus, the Roman general, was rewarded with the name of put on our people, right. Africans.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got to get rid of that one too, and go back.
That's right, sister. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Well, he was rewarded.
Listen. The people of the sun and the people of the moon. Now that is to explain the hues.
Indeed.
Are you there?
Yes.
That explains at least the hues, Hues, of two people. And since the youngest people are looking like the moon, it's time for them to learn from the older ones who are the people of the sun.
Okay, sis, we gotta get to another.
Thank you, Sister Maggie.
Thank you so much, sis, for coming on.
Yes. It's so
David.
Yes, good afternoon and peace and blessings to you all. Hotep to you who follow the Kemetic deities, and assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh to those of you who follow the traditions of Ibrahim as well as Shalom. I want to say something to you all.
Peace,
Meroitic script, Meroitic, the Egyptian as you call it, the Kemetic or Tamarian Meroitic script is the basis for Hebrew. It is the basis for Arabic. It is the basis for Amharic. It is the basis for Amharic. It is the basis for what they call all Semitic languages. My grandmother was Oromo from Ethiopia. That means that she spoke Amharic and Afan. You call yourselves Africans, and Mother Maggie just went on and told you about Scipio Africanus and how Africa got its name. But the culture, there are 2,000 different cultures on that landmass that is now called Africa. Now, you want to claim the Egyptian as that is the predominantly of our own. Well, what about the Afan? What about my Oromo people? We had our culture. What about the Dogon people who have their own cosmogony, who say they came from Sirius, who say they came from the Nomo? You want to take and make one thing dominant. You say that the Egyptian is as old. Well, the Nagas are just as old in Asia. Do you know of the Nagas?
Yeah.
Do you know of them? They are just as old as the Egyptian. Do you know the Sumerians and the Akkadians? All of these people were black. Moses was a black man.
No.
Moses was a black man. Muhammad was a black man. Yeshua was a black man. If you don't believe it, then you should read Gerald Massey. You should read the Book of the Beginnings, who Doc Ben, who John Henrik Clarke, and all of them use as source material. You should read Anacalypsis, where Godfrey Higgins tells you that the first people on the planet were two groups of black people, one with curly hair and one with straight hair. Those are the people who populated this planet, and all of the gods, including Zeus and all of them, were black. Now, here's something about your Kemetic religion that black people don't like. The contendings of Horus and Set. In the contendings of Horus and Set, Set raped Horus and planted his seed inside of him, that thing of homosexuality. Do you accept that part of the Kemetic tradition? Do you accept that? I mean, if you say
hold up, bro.
Hold up, bro. Hold up.
You said a series of things.
Yeah.
We gotta
give the brother a chance to respond. Give the brother a chance to respond.
And if you don't believe in the unseen reality, that's fine. Even the Egyptians believed in what you call spooks.
No, they didn't, brother. No, they didn't, brother. No, they didn't, brother.
We're not gonna argue. We're not arguing. We're dialoguing. All right, brother. Yeah, I know. I was just trying to say to the sister, to your not to go bashing back and forward. You know, you made your point. Let them respond, okay? That's all.
Thanks.
Time schedule.
Point well taken. You know,
Point well taken.
we got a lot of people on the boards, and
I'm
you
sorry.
know, always a pleasure to hear from you, brother. And keep
Yes,
up
sir.
your good work. What you
Peace
doing?
and blessings to you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I just want to say, brother made some good points. I agree with him in a certain extent. I'm a researcher. I can't be biased. So dealing with different tribes of Africa, we know that a lot of different tribes from Africa actually, in their oral traditions, claims to be of Kemetic origin themselves. The Dogon states themselves that they were once priests in the Nile Valley. We can go to the Earth Center as my source material, and we could go to Master Naba, who was an official elder that I conversed with a couple times in the Dogon country. So, we know that falls with the Dogon, they, in their oral traditions, they claim to even know the language. They speak the language, a form of language. I did some comparative linguistics with that. And some of the Dogon languages and words actually correspond with Egyptian. No one is just claiming Egyptian. That's a misnomer. We know that that's Greek. We know that the original Cometians, they were different tribes. It's not just one tribe. When you speak of Kemetu or Kemetic history, we're not speaking of just one tribe. And they did not call themselves the Kemetic people. Everybody was just one. No, that's not true. They had many names. It was many groups of people, many subpots in one place. Africa is big.
Metropolitan.
Correct.
Kemet was the metropolitan that everybody from Africa would come to, and basically they built up that place to be the highlight of everything that they've been through from the south coming up to the north.
That's right.
That was what Kemet was. By us renovating Kemet, we're just saying that was our highest point in civilization.
Thank you, bro.
That we need to get back to. We're not saying that we're part of any type of Kemetic religion. That doesn't even exist. Religion, the whole idea of a religion didn't exist. Literally, the Africans' religion was food, shelter,
and clothing.
And clothing.
Let's go.
That was literally it.
Yes.
Your spirituality was the things that kept your family afloat. That was it. But now, I want to get to Dr. Maat right quick. Dr. Maat, you're the executive producer of Meltrek?
Yes.
From Edame Productions?
Ed Anime Productions.
Ed Anime.
Yes,
Okay.
Ed Anime. Ed Anime is short for educational animation. And we just produced the first installment of our series entitled Meltrek. Mel is short for melanin. Trek means journey. So we're taking you on a journey to understand the history and culture of a melanated people. We're teaching children authentic African American history. So Meltrek, this educational series, is going to teach children of unsung people, places, and events that have been omitted from the pages of social studies textbooks. Episode 1 is called Exploring Ancient Africa. And in this episode, the storyline of this episode involves a group of children who travel back in time to Africa, pre-diaspora Africa. And they go to Kemet, and they learn about the landscapes, the physical landscapes of Kemet. We take them through Nubia, Ethiopia. Then they go to West Africa and learn about Ghana, Mali, and Songhai. We take them to the central part, the Congo region, and teach them about the Twa people. Then we go on to Zimbabwe and down to South Africa, Zulu. So we're taking them on a journey back in time to understand who we are and where we've come from. In this episode, we talk about melanin. So, I have parents calling me from London, from Canada, from the Netherlands, saying that their child is saying, Mommy, Daddy, I have melanin in my body. So we are essentially fostering self-esteem in young black children.
Yes.
And one of our goals, I call it the 3 S's. We're trying to promote the 3 S's: self-awareness, self-esteem, and solidarity. That's our sole purpose right now. Another objective of Meltrek is to preserve African American history, because right now you have major publishers rewriting our history. I don't want to call them out. I can call them out, but you have major publishers rewriting our history. They're starting our history at 1861 right now, the Civil War. I have family members who are in elementary school, middle school, and high school, and they're teaching our black children their history starting at 1861. And when you start our history at 1861, right? That's around what, the Civil War?
Yeah.
That's about the Civil War.
Yeah.
That's about the Civil War. So now you're cutting Harriet Tubman out of the history books.
Right.
You're cutting Frederick Douglass out.
Right.
Right? You're cutting out a lot of people who contributed to our race. You're cutting them out of history right now. Right. So Meltrek, we're trying to preserve African American history by teaching children authentic history. And you can purchase Meltrek at edanimeproductions.com. Go ahead, Elder.
That's what I was going to get that in before the time ran out. You know, how you get it. You playing past the money.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's right. You can visit edanimeproductions.com. That's EDANIME Productions with an S.com.
Let me clear up one thing.
You can also...
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you can also purchase a Meltrek coloring and activity book to go along with the episode. And this book reinforces the information being disseminated in the episode, because it's a lot of information. We give the children a lot of information in 22 minutes. So we created a coloring and activity book to go along with the episode, to reinforce the information, to increase the comprehension of the information.
That's a good thing you're doing. I want to clarify one thing. As a follower of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, someone said, we're not into religion. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he did not teach religion. He taught submission to do the will of God. That's what he taught. The nation did not sit up like a pastor or church. No, it was sit up to raise the people to the awareness of the Creator. Briefly stated. I just wanted to make note of that. Carry on.
We got a caller here. I just wanted to get this last caller.
We don't have long. Yeah, 52.
Peace.
Got 8 minutes. Got 8 minutes.
Melon and Rain.
Hi, y'all. I just wanted to say the show is beautiful. I love the information.
Thanks.
Thank you. Appreciate you,
Thank
sis.
you. Appreciate you.
All right. Peace. So was there any last words?
Closing remarks? Yeah.
Anybody wanted to say?
We got 8 minutes.
Yeah, I just want to say, just keep people mindful of the Kemetic Institute of Theology. I'm a second semester student there, and we specialize in basic linguistic skills for Africans. We specialize in understanding the Egyptian writing and translating and decipherment of the Egyptian language. Not decipherment, but translating and transliterating the Egyptian language. Another thing is I'm a student of two different teachers, actually. One of my other teachers is Siba Hirukanu. He runs a community in West Baltimore, and it's the Todd Nefer Ankh community, and he teaches historical African history. I just want to give some more information that you can find some of the information that speak on in the Per Nature Research Center of African History and Ancient Studies on Facebook. I have a fan page there, and one thing to look out for is my presentation. I have a presentation that's called The Systematic History of Decipherment of the Egyptian Language, the African Element as a Key. And that will be in video pretty soon. So, that's all I will have to say.
And I like to say this, get Meltrek. Visit edanimeproductions.com to purchase your copy of Meltrek. It's time that black children fall back in love with themselves and see themselves as themselves. So purchase Meltrek at edanimeproductions.com and also learn more about Meltrek.
I wanted to give a special RP to Frances Cress Wilson, the general. She passed away.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Wow.
Ashe to Frances Cress Wilson.
Ashe.
Yeah. Praise due to may her legacy continue with the youth throughout the eons of time. I'd also like to promote a project I'm dealing with. Real estate wanted, any condition, any situation, honesty and transparency. Contact Raheem the Hatman at 443-527-4356. Thank you much. It's been a pleasure. I'm telling you, it's been enlightening.
Beautiful. I'm trying to tell
I just want to ask people questions. I probe and I want to learn and I want to know. Talk to me. Just don't lay nothing out there and don't give it no clarity. Peace.
Peace, sis. Peace. Well,
Peace.
Brother, what you got to say?
This is Brother Reggie. You can find me on Facebook at Zen Rashu. I represent Sub-Saharan Expressions. We sell a whole range of different types of jewelry. I represent also New Legion. We're promoting a system called Blackonomics, and just to let y'all know what we bring to the community.
Peace. My name's Neville Henry. Just give you a little description. New Legion. We're setting up different various entities. We're helping people save. We're also setting up small services. We're also dropping a natural line, naturally melanated. It's all organic products: shea butter, coconut oil, detox teas, hair products, the whole 9 yards. Also, we're going to have clothing, a Blackonomic shirt coming out soon. And also, we are also going to be having services for pristine services, as a landscaping services and hauling service. What's another one? Also, we people helping people, savings investings, is a financial analysis service, and it's a savings service, and it's an investing service. So we're also building on that too. So,
what's the contact number?
It's 410-218-9396. You can also contact Reggie too if you want to get your information too.
You can contact me on Facebook at Sub-Saharan Expressions.
I just wanted to say this was a beautiful segment of brothers and sisters coming together, going towards a goal. We all going towards the same goal. It was great. I mean, if you guys can see right now what I'm looking at, man, is black young youth in here in the room, man, with the elders. We bridging the gap, man. It's lovely, man. I'm loving it.
Right.
Black African Power. I'm a Raw Squad up.
Yeah, got 3 minutes, so.
New Legion.
So it's all good. Yeah.
It's a good show.
Yes, it is, man. I'm trying to tell you, man.
Compile all this energy to build our communities up, so we won't continue to be colonized,
No, that's right,
yeah.
brother.
Sure.
Yes. Yes. At 3 minutes.
Well, we're still on, brothers and sisters. So, any last comments that anybody wanted to say, or anything that I enjoyed myself. I had a ball in here, man. With the brothers and sisters in here, I had fun today. I was sitting back and I was just listening. I didn't speak much today because I was sitting here. I really was just learning more or less today. I sat back and learned a lot. Things I didn't know. These brothers and sisters make you just want to go out here and study and get yours, man. And don't let nobody stop you from achieving what you believe in, man.
That's
You
right.
can be whatever you want to be out in this world. You can become whatever you want to be as long as you strive for it.
Exactly.
Yeah, it make me feel like I'm an Egyptologist now.
No, man, it's really all about food, shelter, and clothing.
Yes, it is.
That's what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught. I'm trying to tell you. Don't get it twisted.
Where
it came from God.
Let the elder have that. Let the elder have that.
Black power.
Black power, black African power. I'm in Raw Squad up.
Alhamdulillah.